I had always believed I was just another human drifting through the endless machinery of the galaxy. My name was Adrian Cole, a cargo engineer stationed on the outer trade station known as Port Helios. It floated near the edge of known space, where smugglers, merchants, explorers, and mercenaries crossed paths beneath cold, artificial suns. Nothing extraordinary ever happened there, at least not to people like me, until the day the Alien Empire arrived. Their ships appeared like shadows eclipsing the stars. The Velari Empire was legendary across the galaxy. Their civilization was ancient, powerful, and ruled by a royal bloodline said to carry a genetic code unlike any other species. Their fleets rarely entered human territory, and when they did, entire governments trembled. But that day, a Velari warship descended toward Port Helios. And somehow, I ended up inside it. It started as an accident. I was repairing a damaged cargo loader on Dock 7 when the alarm screamed. A beam of blue light cut through the station's hull like a knife through paper. Velari soldiers poured through the breach, tall, elegant beings with silver skin and glowing violet eyes. Their armor shimmered like liquid metal. Everyone froze. One of them scanned the crowd with a handheld device that pulsed with strange energy. When the scanner pointed at me, it began to scream. The alien officer narrowed her glowing eyes. "This one," she said coldly. "Take him." Before I could protest, 2 soldiers grabbed my arms. The dock workers backed away, as if I carried some deadly disease. "Wait," I shouted. "You've got the wrong guy." But they ignored me. Within minutes, I was being dragged through the corridors of a massive Velari warship. The inside of the ship looked alive. Walls curved like organic bone, glowing softly with violet light. Strange alien symbols pulsed across floating holographic panels. The air hummed with quiet energy. They brought me into a medical chamber. Standing there was a tall Velari scientist wearing flowing white robes. His eyes glowed brighter than the soldiers. He looked curious. "Dr. Thalen," the officer said. The scanner reacted strongly to this human. The doctor stepped closer and studied me. "Interesting," he murmured. I swallowed nervously. "Look, I don't know what's going on, but—" Silence. He lifted a small device. Before I could react, a needle of light pierced my finger. A droplet of blood floated into a glass chamber. The machine began scanning. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the chamber exploded with bright golden light. Dr. Thalen's eyes widened. The officer leaned forward. "What is it?" she demanded. The doctor didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stared at the glowing screen as if he had just seen a ghost. Then he whispered something in their alien language. The officer stiffened. "Impossible." A sudden command echoed through the chamber. "Bring him to the throne hall." The voice was cold, powerful, and unmistakably royal. The queen had spoken. The throne hall was unlike anything I had ever seen. It was enormous, its ceiling arching high like a cathedral made of starlight. Transparent walls revealed the galaxy outside, thousands of stars burning silently in the darkness. At the center of the hall stood a throne carved from a single crystal of glowing violet energy. Seated upon it was Queen Seralith. She looked almost human, but not quite. Her skin shimmered like moonlit silver, and her long dark hair floated gently as if gravity barely touched her. A crown of living crystal hovered above her head. Her glowing eyes locked onto me. I felt very small. The soldiers forced me to my knees. Dr. Thalen stepped forward. "Your Majesty," he said carefully, "we have completed the genetic scan." "And?" the Queen asked. The doctor hesitated. I noticed something strange. He looked afraid. Finally, he turned the floating screen toward her. "His DNA," the doctor said quietly, belongs to the royal bloodline. The queen froze.
Completely.
The entire throne hall fell silent. Even the soldiers looked stunned. Queen Seralith slowly stood from her throne. Her eyes never left me. "That is impossible," she said softly. Dr. Thalen bowed his head. "I verified it 3 times, Your Majesty." She descended the steps slowly. Each step echoed through the chamber like a drumbeat. When she reached me, she knelt, so our eyes were level. Her glowing gaze studied my face carefully. "What is your name, human?" she asked. "Adrian Cole." She raised her hand. For a moment, I thought she might kill me. Instead, her fingertips hovered near my forehead. A faint pulse of energy passed between us. Her eyes widened. She stepped back sharply. "It's true," she whispered. The soldiers exchanged nervous glances. I looked around in confusion. "Can someone please explain what's happening?" The queen looked at me as if I were a living mystery. "You carry the genetic signature of the Velari royal family," she said. "That's impossible," I said. "I'm human." "Yes," she replied slowly. "That is what makes this terrifying." The doctor activated another holographic screen. Ancient star maps appeared above us. "Thousands of years ago," he explained, "our empire faced a civil war." The screen showed images of burning planets and massive fleets battling. One royal heir disappeared during that war. The child was lost somewhere in deep space. The queen spoke quietly. "The last surviving member of that bloodline." Dr. Thalen looked at me. "Your DNA matches that lost lineage." My head spun. "You're saying I'm some kind of alien prince?" The queen's expression darkened. "If the empire learns of this," she said, "it could ignite another war." The soldiers shifted uneasily. Velari politics, it seemed, were complicated. "Then why not just kill me?" I asked bluntly. The room went silent. The queen stared at me. Then, to my surprise, she laughed softly. "Because," she said, "the royal bloodline cannot be destroyed." But the truth was even more dangerous than we realized. Within hours, word began spreading through the fleet. Someone had leaked the information. By the next day, the warship was on edge. Several Velari nobles had already sent messages demanding proof. Others demanded my execution. The empire was dividing. Dr. Thalen found me staring out a window at the stars. "You must understand," he said quietly. "Your existence threatens the balance of power." "Great," I muttered. "Exactly what I wanted." He studied me thoughtfully. "There is another matter." "What now?" "The royal bloodline possesses unique abilities." I frowned. "What kind of abilities?" He gestured toward the enormous ship surrounding us. "The royal fleet only responds to one genetic command code." I stared at him. "You mean?" "Yes." He nodded slowly. "You could control the entire royal armada." 2 days later, the crisis reached its peak. A group of Velari admirals launched a rebellion. They demanded the queen hand me over immediately. Their fleet surrounded our ship. Weapons powered up. War was seconds away. The queen stood beside me on the command deck. Her face was calm, but I could see the tension in her eyes. "If they attack," she said quietly, "millions will die." I looked at the glowing control interface. Dr. Thalen's words echoed in my mind. Royal Command Code. DNA authorization. I stepped forward. "What are you doing?" the queen asked. "Trying something crazy." The soldiers watched nervously. I placed my hand on the control panel. At first, nothing happened. Then the entire bridge lit up with golden light. The ship responded instantly. A calm voice echoed through the fleet. Royal Command Authority recognized. Every Velari warship suddenly went silent. Their weapons powered down. The rebellion ended in seconds. The queen stared at me in shock. You just commanded the entire fleet. I looked down at my glowing hand. Yeah, I said slowly. I guess I did. Weeks later, the Empire finally stabilized. The nobles accepted the truth. I wasn't a threat. I was a forgotten branch of the royal family. Queen Seralith offered me a place beside her in the Empire. A human with alien royal blood. A bridge between two civilizations. I stood beside her on the observation deck of the royal flagship. The stars stretched endlessly before us. Your life changed very quickly, she said softly. I laughed. That might be the understatement of the century. She studied me carefully. You could rule beside me someday. I shook my head. I'm still getting used to flying cargo loaders. She smiled faintly, but her eyes held something deeper. Hope. For the first time in thousands of years, the Velari Empire had something new. A future no one had predicted. And somehow, that future started with a human who had no idea he carried the blood of kings.